Thank you, Chancellor Altmann, for the kind invitation to speak today. And many thanks to the esteemed members of the faculty, proud parents, friends, and family. Congratulations to all of you, and most importantly, congratulations to the MCI graduating class of 2020. It is a privilege and an honor to be here with you today. Today is a day of joy, celebrating all the hard work that has brought you to this point. Today is a day of gratitude, thanking everybody who helped you get there. And today is a day of reflection, exploring what it means to go out into a world of uncertainty, into a world that seems to have turned upside down, into a world where returning back to business as usual is not a choice anymore. I look forward to sharing my thoughts about this inflection point and what I believe it means for you to not let the good crisis go to waste. I will answer the following three questions. Why are we in a multisystemic crisis? What do we need to do to get out of it? And what contribution can you make to co-create a sustainable future? Let me start with the first question. Why are we in a multisystemic crisis? Well, we are at the beginning of an unprecedented global transition. Within the next few years, we need to figure out how 10 billion human beings can sustainably and purposefully live within the carrying constraints of a finitely resourced planet. This transition leads from the currently unsustainable path of human evolution to a holistically sustainable path, including environmental, social, financial, and spiritual sustainability. It will change all systems as we know them: the transportation system, the education system, the healthcare system, the economic system, and the financial system. This transition has started a few years ago and will ultimately either enable humanity to live in harmony with the universe, or it will destroy humanity as we know it. The choice is ours. Systems do change under pressure, but the pressure has to be big enough. The corollary is true as well. Systems don't change if there's not enough pressure. I believe that unsustainable resource management, extreme inequality, and poverty are pressure points that are causing our planetary and societal systems to change, as evidenced by climate change and widespread social unrest. COVID-19 is a consequence of the unsustainable path we are on. It is a symptom of that path, not the root cause. It is showing us that we are in a multi-systemic crisis. This crisis started out as a medical crisis and is now fast becoming an economic crisis, and is, sometimes brutally, showing us the design flaws of our global supply chains and our structural and systemic societal inequality and injustice. So what are the root causes of this multi-systemic crisis? Well, this particular crisis started because of a lack of habitat for certain species. That enabled the COVID-19 virus to jump from one species to humans. Therefore, we need to ask ourselves, why is there increasingly a lack of habitat? Well, because clear cutting and planting monocultures is much more profitable than preserving habitat. The design of our economic system is at the core of this particular disruption. The same is true for climate change. It is not the extractive industry that is at the root cause for climate change. It is the economic system that makes the burning of fossil fuels much more profitable than leaving them in the ground. So what exactly is wrong with the economic system? The maximization of financial returns at all costs is at the heart of the current system, and that's what's wrong with it. Most investments provide the financial returns to the investor while they externalize the social and environmental costs to society at large, which turns out to be a deadly system design mistake. So, what do we need to do to get out of this multi-systemic crisis? We actually know what to do. In our lives and in our businesses, we need to adhere to fundamental principles like circularity, regeneration, resiliency, and regionality. In the data-driven world of tomorrow, we need to build transparent and open data architectures using modern technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and the Internet of Things. On the investment and financial side, we need to move from so-called market rate returns to appropriate financial returns, introducing and accelerating new ideas like blended capital structures and pay-for-success models. And we need to enable everybody to meaningfully participate in this effort, pushing the radical democratization of all processes involving all stakeholders, not just the shareholders. We call this the impact economy, where positive environmental and social impact is an integral part of the economy, not an add-on like corporate social responsibility. The deep impact economy is going further by not just treating the symptoms of a failing system, but the root causes, with a level of awareness and consciousness that is non-anthropocentric, non-human centric, that acknowledges that humanity is part of the evolutionary process and not somehow outside of it. Modern technology and an individual and collective sense of consciousness and awareness is accelerating this transformation with unprecedented speed and reach. Let me now get to my third question. What contribution can you make to co-create this sustainable future? I believe that it is highly unlikely that we will snap back to business as usual, which would repeat the cycle of major disruptions. And this is where you come in. You just graduated from one of the most innovative entrepreneurial universities in Europe. You will become the leaders of tomorrow's businesses. You have a choice to make. Will you allow the system to snap back to business as usual? Or will you give up and witness the great unraveling into chaos with cynicism and inaction? Or will you be an architect of the great transition towards a more just and sustainable world? The choice is yours. I know that many of you will choose or have already chosen to be the disruptor of going back to business as usual and will actively participate in redesigning and co-creating the new impact economy with joy, equanimity, humility, compassion, courage, and fearlessness. Let me quote Chadwick Boseman, quote, "Fearlessness means taking the first step, even if you don't know where it will take you. It means being driven by a higher purpose rather than by applause," unquote. I know that most of you will take this first step towards systemic change, driven by the joy of making a positive contribution as opposed to the fear of being a powerless victim. I wish you all the best for being the architects of your own future. Your life is the ultimate expression of who you really are. Make it count. Challenge the status quo and choose to be the disruptor of going back to business as usual. As Steve Jobs said, we are here to put a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why even be here? Congratulations and thank you all.